Are they the most intimidating team in the NFL right now?
Oh, intimidating team in the NFL. Intimidating, that's a loaded word right there, Kay. I wouldn't use the word most intimidating team in the NFL when describing the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe they're the most talented team, possibly. For the intimidation standpoint, I would have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think there's a more intimidating force. I don't think there's a more intimidating player than that guy throwing the football right there in Tom Brady. His resume proves that he should be intimidating. 7 Super Bowls. He lives in the playoffs. The minute he moves to another team, that team automatically is the Super Bowl favorite. They can play any type of game you want. They run the football. Leonard Fournette, I believe, is the glue to this entire team and this entire offense. You have Tom Brady. You lose Chris Godwin, one of the top wide receivers in the National Football League. Oh well, we'll just get Antonio Brown off the COVID list and off the injured reserve and bring him up on on the active roster. They just have so many weapons. Then defensively, they can stop the run. They keep you under 21 points scoring a game. When I look at this team from a totality standpoint, I just don't see another team as complete as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by Tom Brady. So when you use that word intimidating, I would have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers simply because Tom Brady, the force multiplier, that dude is legit.
Right. Like, Rob, we talked about this on the show on Monday. I think that there is definitely an argument that the Cowboys are the most talented team, top to bottom, in the NFL right now. But if we're talking intimidation, you have to lean toward the guys who have been there before. Look at some of the top quarterbacks in these playoffs here. When you look at, of course, Tom Brady is completely in a league of his own in terms of postseason success and everything else. But Aaron Rodgers has been there. He's won in January. Patrick Mahomes has been there. He's won a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott's been to the playoffs a couple of times. He's got one win, but hasn't made any kind of a deep run. And that is not in any way an indictment on Dak Prescott, who they absolutely love in Dallas. Everything that he brings to the table in terms of leadership, as well as being a phenomenal player and a guy who looked a lot more like himself last week than we've seen him in some time as he gets a little bit more distance from that calf injury. You got to win when it's the biggest games, the biggest moments, and regardless of whether or not a Cowboys-Bucks or a Cowboys-Packers matchup would happen in Dallas or on the road, the intimidation is going to belong to that quarterback who's won it all before.
I agree, and those are good answers. Listen, the Bucks have the entire Brady thing going on, the talent of the Cowboys, the talents of the teams you're mentioning, Tom. But if I'm thinking about intimidation, I'm thinking of just right now, as it's late in the year and you're tired and your body is sore and maybe psychologically you're getting kind of exhausted. Who is the last team you want to play? I don't want to play the Colts. Hell no. Hell no. I don't want to have to tackle Jonathan Taylor 28 times a game.
No.
If I'm a safety or if I'm a linebacker, I look at the schedule this week and I'm saying, God damn it, we got to play these guys. We got to play these guys who play differently than pretty much every other team in the league. These guys who I think want to get Jonathan Taylor the MVP and will feed him. And it's not even Taylor. Once you finally get him off the field, then you got to deal with the Darius Leonard experience, who leads the league in fumble punch-outs and angry runs by defensive players. Like, this is a crappy day at the office. Do you really want to play this in December if you're the Raiders? I don't. Do you know after this they have the Jaguars? Can you imagine the Jaguars circling the drain in their season in Week 18? It feels like Week 800. Having to play these two fiends, I don't want to do it at all. It's a long, long day at the. You know what's intimidating? Hard work when you're tired. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You got good quarterbacks. It's the NFL. We all got good quarterbacks. You've won a bunch of Super Bowls. Great. I don't want to tackle that guy that many times. I'm actually intimidated by the prospect of it, and a team that is red hot and a coach who is afraid of nothing. I actually think it's the Colts out of nowhere.
Great point.
It's a great point, but when you think Carson Wentz, do you think intimidated? Rob, I'm just asking.
No.
And Dak has a lot to prove. Dak 0-2 up against Brady. That includes a Week 1 loss this season. He's got a lot to prove. Since 2016, Dak 1-3 against Aaron Rodgers, including, of course, that back-breaking loss to him in the divisional round when the Cowboys were the 1 seed in the NFC. But you got to look, you're saying everybody has a good quarterback. Does everybody have a good quarterback? Does everyone have an intimidating quarterback? Rob, size up the Colts, their intimidation factor, and you have to include their quarterback who leads the way.
Well, yeah, when you include Carson Wentz in there, I do think the Colts are intimidating if they play a certain style. You keep Carson Wentz between 30, 32 pass attempts a game. You keep Jonathan Taylor's carries upward north of 25 carries a game. That is the formula for the Indianapolis Colts to be an intimidating team. They have to play a certain way. They just got to play a certain way, Kay.
Carson Wentz, not intimidating. Here's what it is. Carson Wentz completing 5 passes against Bill Belichick, and the Colts still winning because they don't need to. That's a tough time for them.
There you go.